Hi friends, and welcome to the kitchen. Today we are going to be cooking a veggie pasta, and what's great about a veggie pasta is that you have some veggies. So this recipe I think is perfect for kind of a very easy meal prep where you can reuse a portion of the cooked ingredients, a portion of this pasta throughout the week in your lunches or dinners, or maybe even breakfast if you like some veggies for breakfast. You can check all the additional information in the description down below, like timestamps and some referral codes. So go check it out if you're interested. And this video is going to be a simple, light and easy one, like a pasta recipe video, so there will be no Nutri-info. So we'll just go ahead into cooking. And let's jump right in. I have to mention that I cooked this recipe by the inspiration of one of the Instagram accounts, and it turned out really nice. It's just a little bit different from the way they cooked it. I cooked it without oil. The ingredient list is very easy. You can see it on the screen. I used one quite large zucchini, two small aubergines or eggplants. You can use one medium or large eggplant. We are also using some tiny little tomatoes. You can use larger tomatoes. These tomatoes are really nice for roasting. So in this case, I'm not using any canned tomatoes. That's going to be a total different game. As well as we have a bell pepper here. I'm using a yellow bell pepper. You can use any bell pepper that you like. They are really nice roasted. We also have some rosemary, some garlic, and do remember to wash your veggies. It's really important to wash your veggies quite well. Here are all the ingredients, and our next stop will be to chop them. An interesting thing about nightshades like peppers, aubergine, eggplants, potatoes, and tomatoes is the fact that they have trace nicotine in them. So it's been shown to be a neuroprotectant. When you eat nightshades, those negative effects of smoking are not present, but you still can get some positive effects of nicotine. This is a fun little fact. I promise no facts in this video. Okay, so now we are done with chopping and we are ready to roast our veggies. Roasting the veggies is super duper easy. We preheat the oven at 180 degrees, 190 degrees, and we spread them onto the baking sheet, including the tomatoes. You might want to poke your tomatoes so they do not explode in the oven, so do that. And we just wait for 35 to 40 minutes, just maybe checking on your veggies every now and then through the window of the oven. If they're not burning, if they're not exploding, check them out. But it's super easy. If you want to add oil, you can add oil. In the cooking, it's preferred to add the lighter oil, like the olive oil, which is extra light. Like this one, you can see the color is light yellow. It has a lighter texture, a lighter flavor as well, and the heavier oil would normally go into the salads, and it would normally go into something that you don't need to heat process. Okay, let's add a little bit of spices to our roasted veggies. Those are going to be turmeric and black pepper, which I chose for my roasted veggies. I'm also adding a little bit of thyme and some basil. Here you can rather use either dry basil or a liquid basil. I like liquid basil, of course, as you already know. The thing with the fresh basil is it's probably in 35 to 40 minutes, it's probably just going to dry out and not give out as much flavor as you would like it to. As well as that, we are going to add some cinnamon, just a little bit. It's going to be almost undetectable in the flavor, but it's going to add a different dimension, and it's kind of nice to have some cinnamon in there. While the veggies are in the oven and it takes 35 to 40 minutes, we are ready to cook our sauce and our pasta. We are cooking the pasta separately, of course, and we are just cooking it as it's indicated on the package. So no funky stuff here. And while the vegetables are roasting and the pasta itself is cooking, we are ready to start with the sauce. And let's go in for the spices. The spices are almost identical to the veggie seasoning. I would say you can also use basil, but I didn't have enough basil for both, so I chose to use basil in the roasted vegetables. So here we as well have turmeric, we have black pepper, we have thyme, cinnamon, some fresh garlic, and some fresh rosemary. And for the pasta sauce, we're also going to need some canned and chopped tomatoes. Choose the tomatoes that have less sodium content. You would want to watch out for that, especially if you have high blood pressure or any other risk factors associated with the cardiovascular system. And we're starting with the sauce, as I've been promising for a while now. The original recipe calls for oil. If you want to use oil, I would recommend using a more refined, less flavored oil. And if you're using oil, use it on a heated pan already, because you want to minimize the contact between oil and the heated surface so it doesn't start to break down too fast. Here I'm adding water, and in the water I am adding garlic. After that I'm following with our canned tomatoes, which have great flavor regardless of their sodium content. Here we add the spices as well, because the sauce also has to be spicy. And after that we allow it to simmer on a medium heat for around 20 minutes so it thickens down, and the aroma of this is very nice. It's really crazy. The pasta is of course ready first. It takes around 10 minutes to cook it, so we drain it and we add it back to the saucepan, the deep pan. And after some time the sauce is also ready. You can see it's quite thick. And we are covering pasta. We are laying the sauce onto the pasta, and if you want to leave it like that, it looks really pretty, but I guess that for eating you would want to mix it up. I really like pastas for the reason that if you use the whole grain pasta, you can sneak in a lot of vegetables in the sauce and in some additional sprinkles and things that you can use with the pasta. So it's really suitable for someone who is transitioning into a plant-based diet. And you know, it also kind of not only to the plant-based diet, but also people who struggle to add some vitamins and minerals into their diet without using supplements. So you can use a lot of those tips and tricks in order to enrich your diet and quote unquote eat the rainbow. And the thing with supplements, you know, there is this concept of the whole food matrix, saying that there are different compounds in vegetables, in plants, in whole foods that are combined with other elements in ways that makes it easier for our body to absorb it. So for example, if you have an issue in some part of your GI tract, you might not be able to absorb some certain form of magnesium, for example. But if you have a variety of magnesium forms that it binds to, you have more ability to absorb magnesium on some other area of your GI tract. This is why a whole foods diet is actually superior to supplementation. So if you're struggling with eating more vegetables, if someone in your family is struggling with eating more vegetables, try to sneak in some of those things in a pasta or, for example, in a dip like hummus. And now the veggies are ready. They're perfectly roasted. My favorite bit out of this whole thing is tomatoes. I love roasted tomatoes I like roasted bell peppers, but especially when they're whole roasted bell peppers. I don't know why, but they're just more flavorful when they're roasted as a whole vegetable, as a fruit, as a whole bell pepper. So here we are ready to serve. We are adding pasta and veggies to the bowl. And as I said, the great thing about it is that you can reuse those vegetables throughout the week. They stay in the fridge for a couple of days really, really well, so they can get you through some of the days of the beginning of the week if you are meal prepping during the weekend. And as I said, this thing is great in salads, in other pastas, and just on its own. I really like cooking vegetables like this, and moreover, it's super beginner friendly. So I do hope you like it, and I do approve of this recipe. The spice mix is also quite nice. You do not feel the cinnamon, as I already mentioned, but it gives a warmer flavor to it and a little bit of the tanginess. It pinches you a little bit and it gives a different dimension. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I did. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying for this long. Remember to know what you eat, and do remember to have some fun with it, and do eat some greens today. And of course, I will really appreciate your feedback as a comment or a like. Please do tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and what I should cook next. And if you're really into it, please do subscribe. Costs virtually nothing, but shows great support, and it means a lot to me. Also, if you want to stay in touch, I'm going to link my Instagram account down below. It's at @thebestoffulloflove, and I am sharing daily tips on how to make the best out of your meal. So stay tuned, stay up to date, and I catch you sometime soon. See you later.